are live on Nigeria's number one for talk 99.3 Nigeria Info. Who are we? We are
the Tekes. I am Andrea Odwobi Tekes.
And this is the voice of the microphone heavyweight, Collins. Tekes. Well, the Family Talk is live. Abridged episode of the Family Talk for the next 25 minutes or thereabouts. We'll have the biggest family conversation. And our focus today is pretty much taking a cue from, our earlier conversation where we started the show. We gave a tip of the iceberg of what we'll be talking about today on the Family Talk, right?
That's right. And we're talking bullying. It's a conversation that we've had before. So if you have been following the Family Talk on What's Up Lagos, you must have heard us talk about bullying in schools. And I think this is the right time to reiterate that conversation and bring it to our consciousness again. This is a menace, and then we have to tackle it from all angles.
That's right.
Not just from the place of a parent to a child, but also from the school to the children who they're attending to. Also from the angle of the teachers to the students.
That's right.
Because we know that bullying somewhat is dominant. It is very prominent in the school environment. We've heard a lot of people share their experience of how that they're being bullied, especially in the school.
That's right.
Their bullying comes in different forms. It comes from different places, right? In the home, on the streets, on social media. But we have seen the one that is more prevalent happening in the school environment. And so we're going to talk about it today. We want to ask just a few questions. What are the common causes of bullying? How do we reduce the menace to the barest minimum in especially schools? And what are your opinion and what are your takes on the story of the young Sylvester who passed on as a result of bullying?
That's right. His story is not the only story. There are many stories that have happened in the past. As I've mentioned earlier, even as we speak right now, lower by, like I always say, there are cases happening even as we speak right now.
That's true. Very, very true. Very, very true. And something that I think everybody has said, and I also have a very strong opinion on that, is the fact that he was more or less, I don't want to use the word sacrificial, but his case has
again
sprung up some sort of awareness.
Again. A new awareness.
To bring in that, like I keep saying, to the consciousness of the mind of every parent at every school, right? But something keeps coming to my head. What are the school authorities doing about this? You see, for every school, this has happened.
That's right.
For every school, the case of bullying is evident for every school. Now, my question would be, how are schools tackling bullying?
That's a very vital question and what is it about schools that encourage bullying? What is it about schools that encourage bullying? And then, what are they doing about it? This looks as if the schools are just interested in getting the fees. I'm a parent, so I can speak from that perspective. Just hearing this happen, I feel like, just the way you're talking about how it affected you, and so many parents out there, they're asking, how do I even protect my child? What do I do? Especially in Lagos, where you have to hustle. Sometimes you just find yourself in a situation where it's easy to tell people, oh, you have to be there for your child, you have to be there for your child. But the truth is, if there were no lapses in schools, if the school authorities were not living below expectation, as it were, you shouldn't have a problem with your child in school. You only have a problem with your child at home with you. But now parents have found themselves in a situation as a result of this bullying and this recent happening by Sylvester. Parents have found themselves in a situation where you're not comfortable now. Your child is in school. You're still thinking of what to do to be protective of your child while they're in school. that's a tough place to find yourself.
That's right. And you know, so to some extent, people, the mindset or the prayer or the feeling is that, okay, if my child is to school, he's safe. I can go about doing my work.
Yep.
But it's a tough place to be in when you put your child in school, having to, you know, the thought that, okay, they're safe, but they're not safe.
You'll be paranoid and you'll be worried because of that. Mm-hmm. And that in itself will affect you as a person, your productivity, your mental state, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, parents right now, let's come together. Let's talk about this. What can we do? And what are the school authorities doing? Schools right now, if you own a school, it's an opportunity. What are you doing to curb bullying? I know all of you be running away now not to talk. But what are you doing? Even if you don't talk to us, talk to yourself. What would you do? How do you ensure that bullying is reduced to the barest minimum? How do you monitor your words? Do you even, with your CCTV, I did us there for fancy, do you monitor? Do you have someone watching it and ensuring that even if you see a child being pushed, you know, by the nose or just by another child, you call the attention to it immediately and say this is wrong? And at what stage should we start, you know, curbing acts or signs of bullying in children?
Also,
is it when they are grown or when they are still very young? Is it a station where say their children, leave them, they will play, that's how they do? Is that how you handle it? These are many questions to answer.
Yeah, that's right. I know a case of where your child is being beaten or bullied. You say, they bullied you and you are still there. Go and fight your own back. Go and hit him back. You know, parents do that. So it's that also the right way to curb bullying. Also, I want to come from the angle of the school as well. How strong is their guidance and counseling department? Because the truth is, a lot of children or students are in that position where they want to speak, but because I cannot go to talk to that teacher, I'm not sure that teacher would hear me. I'm not sure that teacher would listen to me. I'm not sure that I can tell the teacher how I feel. Now, there has to be some sort of safe haven for these children to be able to walk up to any counselor or guidance in their school to speak to them and tell them what they are going through. I remember when I was in Ibadan. So I used to do a lot of interventions in schools, right? So I went to one certain school and I spoke to a girl. A lot of them, I think that day we're talking on, I can't remember the particular conversation we're having with these girls, but a lot of them were sharing their experience. And one of them told me that she cannot talk to their counselor in the school. It's a public school. And I said, why can't you talk to your counselor? She said that she's always insulting us. If you go to her, she will insult us that our skirts is short, our hair is not made. She's always insulting us. I'm like, if a child like this or a student like this is scared and uncomfortable to walk up to a counselor or to a guidance, then there's a problem.
That's right.
Or to a guardian, then there's a problem.
But my question is, what's the actual role of a counselor? Thank God you're a counselor. What should a counselor be doing in a school? You know, let me just, what should they be, what role? Do they really know what their role is?
I don't think
is it a situation of, come here, that's how you be playing, don't go and follow boy, don't follow boy, you don't follow girls, so is that what we get? Or what should they be doing? I think that counselors are supposed to be the very smart one professionally to extract information from children, to be sensitive enough to know that something could be wrong somewhere, and getting the information and reporting such, you know, appropriately. Because if a child is warned or threatened, do not say, if you say it, I'm going to kill you. That's a child.
Yes.
They believe truly they are going to be killed.
True.
And they'll keep quiet. But if you are a professional counselor, like you said, their units have to be strengthened.
Have to be strengthened indeed.
You will be able to identify and know that, hey, this kid, something is not right. And then you bring them in a warm environment and get to hear from them.
Right. So I remember the conversation we're having, the intervention we went to. So I used to volunteer with a certain NGO. Then they were talking on sugar daddies. And they were So this girl, her case was her father has been molesting her.
Wow.
And she's told her mom about it. Her mom does not believe her. There's nobody else who believes her, and there's nobody else she could talk to. So I asked her, how about the counselor in your school? Have you gone to talk to her. And that was when she exposed the fact that the counselor is not someone she can walk up to talk to.
The counselor will judge.
So
you are wearing short skirts. What do you expect?
Exactly. So,
First class, that counselor.
There's a lot that has to be done, especially in the school setting when it comes to this subject matter we're talking about right now.
Well, so many questions, and it's set for us to talk to you now. You can call 0700 993 993 993. Do not forget the question. What are the common causes of bullying in schools? How can we curb this menace in our society, specifically in schools? What's your own recommendation or thoughts about the Sylvester story? And how can we as parents and the schools, what can they do better to be able to curb or reduce bullying in schools to the barest minimum? The phone lines are fully buzzing. It's time to talk.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, this is Joy calling back again. So you're asking how could this be coped?
Yep.
Or what they can do. My own little way or my own suggestion is this idea of senior in school should just stop. Everybody should be meant to be equal.
That's right.
Nobody should go and report to any labor prefect or this prefect. They should just stop that. Because that is where it starts from. Because you start making yourself look like, yes, I'm a leader. And because of that, you can want to exert your power on the lesser being. So I think schools should just stop that idea of people being any form of prefect. If you can see now, even in primary schools, they have devised this means of student campaigning. If you notice, you see them put pictures of students in their schools campaigning for them to be the post of one thing or the other in the school. This is where this starts. So I feel they should just stop the issue or this thing about seniorism in schools. So everybody should be meant to be equal. If you have an issue, go meet your counselor. If you have any problem, go meet the teacher. That's my own suggestion.
All right.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you for that. But, I want to come in there a bit, right? As much as, that also is a factor. So there is a reason why schools go about that putting prefects and having seniors and all. It gives them some sense of leadership. Having to understand the role to be a leader, having to understand the role to even operate outside school setting when it comes to leadership and being in the role or in a position of leadership. I think that's the idea for that.
When they have done with school, they should go and train for leadership.
But my point here is, you do not give a student who lacks empathy. You do not give a student who does not have the ability to lead a leadership role.
That's right. So that question comes with,
Back
how do they arrive at who? Is it whose father has more money? Or who tips them more? Or the one that has shown leadership skills and qualities? Right. You see, it's going back to the schools.
Right.
Anyways, let's take more calls.
Hello.
Good morning, the Tekes.
The Tekes.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Rita from Badering.
Hi,
Welcome,
Rita. Let's talk.
Yeah, one of the reasons I also see is that even in the schools, teachers, at least we should try as much as possible and train the children of saying the truth. They shouldn't be shutting them up. Sometimes the children are saying the truth, and you hear a teacher telling the child, shut up. And this thing keep on going on. Seriously. I just have an issue that in the school, the child was trying to explain everything that went through, and the teacher was telling the child, shut up. Why would you shut up a child that is saying the truth? So the truth can be told to Nigerians, for God's sake. So even the schools, the parents and the teachers, please, if your child is telling you something, don't just shut them up because they are kids.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Thank you.
Well done. Well said. More calls coming in.
Hello. All right. 0700 993 993 993. Hello.
What's up, Lagos?
Chester Live. Good morning.
Okay. Please, good morning.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
Fine.
We thank God, sir.
Okay. My wife is a teacher. I've stopped her though, because when she was pregnant, I had to stop going for teaching because it's stress.
Okay.
I stopped her. So we discussed a lot about these children. Sir, there is one thing schools must first of all work on before employing any teacher. Apart from being sound and brilliant or knows how to teach very well, it must be very, very tolerant. It must know what it takes to take care of children and to have that, feeling. Human, that's all. People that don't have human feelings. So they can tell the child, go to where you are stupid. They can say a lot of things. So that thing, you see the children, the child keep it to himself, doesn't want to say anything because the way even the teacher bully these children.
Yes.
With the things they tell them. They tell also things that you have never told your child before. There are children, you tell your children you are some children that are useless. They'll be looking like that. Say, am I really useless? My daughter has called me a lot of times. She's 10 now. She'll be like, my teacher told me this, told me that. I said, are you serious? So when we ask them, they will deny it. Most of them will deny that. They will just, I think you don't use those such words on children.
That's right.
There are ways you correct children, but this you have a lot. They have a lot of way on telling on these children.
Yeah.
So before you employ any teacher, make sure that teacher has human feelings. It's very, very important. They can accommodate children even when they misbehave. We should be able to talk to them with love and care, not telling them all sorts of things. So by so doing, these children will find it difficult to talk to them when things are going wrong. So they keep it to themselves. That's right. Number two, these schools, some of them, when some children do misbehave, because their parents are wealthy, or maybe the son of a governor, or the case may be, my friend got to talk to that child because they want to lose that student, which is very, very bad. So the government also try to regulate these private schools to take care of what they employ. But because most times when they just employ anybody they like, without any form of moral or any form of qualification for them to employ them. So right. I know I'm sure to go a long way to solving this problem we are having today.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Well said. I totally agree with that.
Okay, we have Emmanuel on the line, calling from Ikoyi. Hello.
Hello, good morning. What's up, Lagos?
Just alive.
Yeah, I just want to quite repeat the situation of Sylvester. I think parents should pay more attention to their children by asking them how their school was. When they come back and they see a change in their attitude, they shouldn't ignore. They should pay more attention and should talk to their children that whatever happens in school, they should be able to open up to their parents. So they should be able to encourage them to tell them every details that happen. I think the school authority should also put an eye, pay more attention on the children, what happened. They should not be only concerned about the fees and other things in school, because it's really pathetic.
True. It is.
How the outcome of this, at least they will tell us that they were not aware of what is happening in the school.
That's right.
That's my own contribution.
All right, thank you for that. On WhatsApp, David Ibiam says, good morning. Please, is it possible for boarding schools to be scrapped? A lot has been happening even currently in boarding schools.
In fact, if there's any campaign to stop boarding school education, I would carry my hand up and say yes. Only for those who are adults. If you can maybe have boarding school for those who are adults, maybe from university level or high school level. Yes. Or college level, depending on what category. And then, is it not time for us to change our system, general education system, to something more timely, more invoked? I don't understand. Anyways,
the phone lines have been buzzing. 0700 993 993 993. Hello. Wow, the phone lines are jamming. Hello. Good morning.
Up of the day to you.
Welcome. Let's go.
As regards to the school administration, we have to start for the Ministry of Education. What are they educating? And what about the syllabus? For instance, the teacher training I went, they always speak to us on the, on the marching ground when they are about to march to the various classes. And then the principal will come and address the students. All of us collectively from element, 1 to 6 or 5 that time. So he will not speak that we are here for education, not so because of another man's daughter, another man's son. So if there is any report concerning any misbehavior for the students, their certificate will bear that report. So everybody sit tight. So if you tell a child that if you misbehave, just like you have the punishment set aside for the armed robber, for the rest. Even those that went inside the armed robbery, don't they receive punishment? Are they accepted to work in the ministry? Those that went to prison, can they be employed again? Those that have sexual abuse report to children, can they be nominated to be a counselor or chairman? No, that eradicates them all.
All right.
Hello. Wow.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Yes, the Tekes. My name is Irene.
Okay.
I'm
Hi.
calling from Ijego.
Welcome, Irene.
Yes, thank you. On this issue of bullying, in fact, as a mother, I feel it, particularly this Sylvester's issue. I couldn't watch the video. Up till this morning, I was crying.
Wow.
I remember there was a time before my daughter left secondary school. You know, these boys, about 3 or 4 of them, they bullied her. And I was inside the school premises that afternoon because we had a parent meeting. So somebody called me, a neighbor called me, they are beating your daughter and all that and all that. I came out of the school, came to trace them, I couldn't find them. The next day, I went to the school. Normal me, I don't give a damn. I went to the school, I was talking, shouting, screaming, and the owner of the school, the director, he was like, "Madam, you are shouting, stop shouting here." And I said, "Why won't I shout? Until I see these boys, before I will stop shouting." What am I trying to say here? As parents, our children come home, they complain. They say some things, we shut them up. We don't want to listen to them. If in the case of Sylvester, maybe when that boy was so scared to even tell his parents what was happening, to the point when he said, "I don't want to go back to boarding school," maybe they should have just given him, that benefit of that and find out what was wrong. A lot of things like that. And then boarding school, nowadays, particularly the private boarding schools, parents, as parents, a child that is supposed to still be in your care, as old as 8 years, that child is already in JS1. What is that child doing in JS1? At most, let that child mature, maybe 11 years. I had the opportunity for my daughter to jump class. And she...
Ooh, we need to go on a break, Lagos. We'll be right back.
More talk.